Hello and welcome to Super Thinking Power, where thinking is our superpower. So today I'm going to be talking to you about 3 destructive habits that might be sabotaging your future. The first thinking habit that can sabotage your future is being locked into a pattern of negative or pessimistic thinking about your future. What does that mean? It means that anytime you're thinking about future possibilities, you're always thinking that the outcome will be negative. So you think about starting an idea, and the first thing that comes to your mind is, oh, I could never do that. Or it's not likely going to succeed. Or XYZ, I've tried it in the past and it failed. So how much more myself trying it, it's likely going to fail. Now, the problem with this thinking pattern is that it shuts the door on future possibilities of success. Therefore, you will never try to do anything new. You will never try at all. And so if you see yourself logged into this negative thinking pattern, then it is time to stop and reflect and ask yourself, why am I thinking this way? If you observe yourself consistently expecting negative outcomes for your future, the question to ask is, what is responsible for me thinking this way? It might be, for example, you've tried things in the past and they didn't work out the way you expected, or you're surrounded by people who have tried different things and all they always say is, you know what, I tried, 3, 4, 5 things and they didn't work out. And that feedback has, without you realizing, influenced your way of thinking about things. Now, the thing about the way the brain works is this, is that our imagination helps us to basically visualize and picture future possibilities. And then once we firmly believe the fact that these future possibilities can become reality, our mind begins to connect the dots. Our mind begins to figure out a way to make this possibility a reality. But if you have thinking patterns that are consistently negative, then unfortunately, you would basically self-sabotage yourself, have the expectation become reality of you always having negative outcomes. And so basically you need to look at why you think this way and essentially cut it short. Now, a way to do that really is to listen to people who have empowering ways of thinking. You can follow this channel, for example, or even follow other people who have, very, very effective ways of thinking. The second one, destructive habit that most people have that they don't realize, is what I call confirmation bias. And this is when you get stuck in this similar patterns of thinking by filtering the information you get from the world to confirm an existing pattern of thinking that you've always had. Basically, what this means is that you're nitpicking the things that seem to feed into the way you have always thought about issues, or thought about problems, or thought about the things you've always thought about. Now, Albert Einstein said that we cannot solve the same problem at the same level of thinking at which the problem was created. So that means that if you're going to get better at anything in life, you've got to think at a higher level than which you've been thinking about it before. But if you're always confirming the way you're currently thinking with all the information that is out there, you're always picking out things that confirm the existing level of your thinking, then what happens? You're locked in. You're not able to make progress. So you've got to break out of that thinking system and even entertain the possibility of a different way of thinking. The way to break that, once again, is to essentially expose yourself to a different way of thinking that is empowering. And also intentionally maybe look out for ideas that may not be consistent with the way you've always been thinking about things. It's very difficult, obviously. Like, our default mode is to confirm our existing beliefs. But when you do that, you can basically break that thinking pattern. So how do you do that? Well, one of the easiest ways is to basically listen to or exchange ideas or come into contact with people that think differently from the way you think, especially people who have superior ways of thinking, which you can see by the results that they've obtained or they've gotten. Number 3, destructive thinking habit is what I call anchoring. That is, when an idea first comes across your mind and you believe it, you begin to basically set that idea as a benchmark, or that thinking pattern as a benchmark, and anchor it, and basically compare every other idea that comes across your mind against that. Now, the problem is that if your anchor is the wrong anchor, then you're basically comparing new ideas against the wrong anchor. And so basically you need to figure out, what am I always anchoring against? And is the anchor that I've got in my mind actually true? Or is it actually giving me the outcomes I want in life? So that is it. Those are 3 destructive thinking patterns that can sabotage our future. Thank you very much for listening. And if you want to hear even more powerful ideas that can upgrade and elevate the way you think, just subscribe to this channel, Super Thinking Power, where thinking is our superpower. Have a lovely day.